Hello friends, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is heredity and variation. In this chapter we will studying the various traits which used to transferred from or inherited from the parents, and which are the causes of evolution in the new offspring or species. So in this chapter we are going to learn about the Mendel's work and law of inheritance, and together with this, we supposed to understand the phenomena of inheritance. So, first thing which comes in our mind, that is accumulation of various duration during reproduction. What happens during reproduction? The genetic material of both parents were set together. Both used to have certain set of characters which shows their phenotype and genotype. When the both get mixed, the new species have the characteristics of both the parents. This can be well explained with this figure. One parent, two childs. One is having red head, another is having kind of a green tail. When they crossbreed together, they will form that characteristics has been transferred from one generation to another in the sequence. So this is how things happen. In inheritance means the thing which you inherit from your father or your parents. That sort of stuff is known as inheritance. So the point is this: which character or which trait will be inherited. That is that how we are going to know that which trait is going to have inherited. That is the work done by the Mendel. He has given the certain laws on which the genetics was based on, and we study on the basis of that which character will be dominant and which can be recessive. Okay, so when the character is supposed to be dominant, then it will show its dominancy. So this is how things inherit, as the gene has the characteristics of both dominancy and recessiveness. But still, which character will be shown in the offspring, that depend on the pairing of the gene. Moving further, heredity. Heredity is the characteristics which we inherit, means we get from our parents. We cannot generate in our lifespan. So basically the set of characters, whether it is phenotypic characters or physical characters or morphological one, they are the characters or identities which we carry from the forefather. This is like lobes of the ear. One is having attached lobe in figure B, and figure A is a lobe which is not attached. So the new offspring will be having the same set of characters. Why? Because this character is being transferred to the offspring. So whenever the proper condition will appear, that character will show. So these are the certain things which we will came to know after learning the laws, Mendel's law, which Mendel has given in his work. Okay. So what is his work basically? The rules for the inheritance of a trait. Mendel's contribution. Mendel has done work on a pea plant, and he found out that certain set of characters shows their we can say express themselves more, but the other set of characters express late. So why this expression of characteristics so late and tall? So on the basis of that, he has given the laws. Their laws is law of dominance, law of segregation, and law of independent assortment. The three laws he has given. In these three laws, he explained how these traits express themselves during the process. So let's study those laws. Before that, the one question arises in, I think, everybody's mind: why Mendel chooses the pea plant? Because he has done a whole work on the pea plant. So this may be the reason. Height of pea plant, it is varied. There are tall plants too, there are dwarf plants too. Seed type is also different, round and wrinkled. Color of the seed is also different, yellow, green. Together with this, they are bisexual plants. They can be self-pollinated properly. Apart from this, they are perennial in nature. So These are the reason, and it's easily to pollinate them. So this is the reason why Mendel chooses the pea plant, because it has a variety and it can be easily pollinated. So the process can be monitored properly. Because to understand the inheritance, the variation should be there, because we must be understanding the number of traits which can be expressed. So he studied this. Now coming to his expression, so first we will doing monohybrid inheritance, the law of segregation. First, before this I will tell you the law of dominance. Law of dominance, the word itself explains. Law of dominance means the trait which is dominant in character will express itself. Dominant trait will express itself, whether whatever the condition is. So in genetics, the dominant traits are written in capital letters in this Mendel's law. So if the capital law T is there, or whatever the trait is there, capital 1, that will express that that trait or that characteristics is dominant in nature. Hence that will show its existence. Now, monohybrid inheritance, the law of segregation. In this law of segregation, it expresses that whatever the gene it may be, whether dominant or recessive, it will keep itself segregated until and unless it is going to, it will not get the chance of expression. Once it get expressed, it will suit. So it will be there with the pairing with the old one or is a dominant one, but it will remain there. It is not going to mix with that. Two traits remains together, whether they are totally dominant one or totally recessive one or mixed one. If they are mixed and they are together, still they do not intermingled with them. They will keep their things, or we can say they will keep their characteristics segregate, they do not got mixed. So what will happen in this particular monohybrid cross? Monohybrid cross means a hybrid, a fusion of characteristics of one pair only. There will not be use of a second pair, only one pair of fusion is considered as a monohybrid cross. Now what happens is, in this we have taken parent generation, one tall, one dwarf. It is clearly in the picture, one tall and one dwarf. Tall is expressed with capital TT and dwarf is expressed with small tt. When they are crossed, what we get in F1 generation? We used to get all tall plants. Why so? Because in every plant the trait capital T is there. There or not? Yes, it is there. This shows that if the dominant trait is there, then the plant will look dominant. So it will show its dominancy, or it will express the dominancy. Hence all plants are tall. Okay, this is F1 generation. Then we will come to the F2 generation. This is F2 generation. When that tall, from F1 generation I have taken capital T and a small t, but the characteristic is tall from F1 generation, and we fuse, self-pollinate them. What will happen? We will get a variety of plants in F2 generation. In this, 3 are tall and 1 is dwarf. 3 are tall as all 3 are having dominant trait characteristics, so all 3 are tall, but 1 is dwarf because it is not having any dominant trait. But out of these 3, only 1 is pure tall because it has all the dominant traits, that is capital T, capital T. But in F2 generation, in remaining 2, that is capital T and small t, means genetically they are having the recessive gene, but physically that is dominant gene is more expressive than the recessive one, hence they are tall. So the ratio 1 is to 3 is to 1 on the basis of genetic gene, what they are having, mixed or pure or impure, kind of, means pure tall, mixed tall and dwarf. On the basis of this, the ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 1. This ratio is known as genotype, as it is expressing the gene into it. So it's a genotype. And if the ratio we take on the basis of physical appearance, whether they are tall or recessive, then it is known as phenotypic ratio, that is 3:1. Okay. Now this is how the cross was done. First parent cross, capital T, then when they are segregated, that is known as gamete formation. You have to learn this or understand this, how to make it. And then the gamete formation in dwarf plant, then they are cross mixed and we get all tall F1 generation. You remember that thing, then in the previous case we are having all tall generation. Okay, now the F2 generation, F1 cross, tall plant, capital T small t, then again gamete formation and tall and dwarf, that is F2 generation. We got it over here. So this is how the cross is being prepared, and in the next class we will be studying Punnett square and Diabet cross as well. Okay, thank you for the day.